Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, I'm going to tell you all about why Braun Strowman has disappeared from WWE television again.
Plus a backstage update on WWE's plans for Elimination Chamber.
Turns out Bayley's Royal Rumble elimination was a bit of a botch.
And why WrestleMania 37 tickets haven't gone on sale yet. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Okay, so let's kick things off by talking about Braun Strowman. He's vanished. Where's he gone? He only returned to WWE television just before the Royal Rumble. He entered the Royal Rumble at he was number 30, wasn't he? Eliminated a few dudes, got thrown out by Edge, and nothing since then. He wasn't on the follow-up episode of SmackDown, not currently advertised for this week's episode of SmackDown either. What's going on with big, beefy Braun? The monster among men is suffering from a blood infection. This sounds awful. The poor guy revealed this on Instagram yesterday, so it's coming straight from the beefcake's mouth. And he says he's lost 15 pounds in the past 5 days or so. He's been on antibiotics and an IV drip. But he said, in his own words, he has been really sick. He's got this infection. It looks like he's gained... he's dropped this 15 pounds, but he says it looks like he's gained about 50 pounds in water weight. His joints are swollen, he's all inflamed. However, he has said, and the good part of this, the antibiotics are working, he's feeling better, he's on his way back, he wants to nip this in the bud and get back on television. There's currently no word on when he'll be able to do that. But this sounds gross. I'm no doctor, but I can't imagine that anything that causes you to lose 15 pounds in 5 days is any kind of healthy. The poor bugger. It really sucks for him that he's come back to TV, worked literally 2 shows, and then he's had to take time off because of this infection. I hope the guy's doing okay. Hope to see him back soon. Get well soon.
Yeah, awful news to wake up to this morning. Like you say, I thought he looked in maybe the best shape of his career when he returned on SmackDown and subsequently at the Royal Rumble. And then, like you say, 15 pounds in 5 days, and to go the opposite way with the water retention or whatever it may be in terms of the swelling and stuff. Sounds just absolutely awful. He's a big lad. He's inevitably going to have some issues with joints, etc., as a result of that. It takes a big toll on your body, but this is something that no one should have to go through, Andy.
Yeah, just a terrible slice of misfortune for the dude. So he's built strong, obviously, Braun Strowman, but at the same time, these things knock anyone down. So here's hoping he gets well soon and he's back on television as quickly as he can be.
Exactly, yeah. Get well soon, mate. Right, let's transition over and talk about the Elimination Chamber. Of course, on Raw, it was announced that Drew McIntyre is going to defend his WWE Championship in there against all former WWE champions. Not necessarily people you possibly want, but I'm sure they'll have some good stuff with it. And it's been revealed, according to Ringside News, that they are also planning to do an Elimination Chamber on the SmackDown side of things with the men as well. A lot of speculation as to whether maybe with the Raw men doing the Elimination Chamber, maybe we'll get the SmackDown women. Maybe we'll get Sasha defending her title in there, which would have been awesome, to be fair. But yes, according to Ringside News, it looks like it's going to be the SmackDown men in the chamber as well. No word as of yet as to whether it's going to be Roman Reigns defending his title in there. That's the way it should go, in my opinion. Or whether it's going to be some sort of decider to determine who faces Roman Reigns next. We assume Roman Reigns is going to face Edge at WrestleMania. That maybe even will be clarified tonight by Edge. Who knows? But maybe you could have a number one contenders match for Fastlane, I suppose.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of developments. I would personally prefer a women's match just for variety's sake. But, there are a lot of great men's wrestlers on SmackDown as well, so I'm sure that the Elimination Chamber match, if it is a men's match, will be of a high standard.
Yeah.
I would prefer them to do the contendership match myself, personally, as well. You've got Edge set up for WrestleMania, but if you want an interim challenger for Roman Reigns, this is a good way to do it. If Roman maybe defends the Universal Championship inside the chamber, then he can look really dominant and look really great, and it could be awesome. But at the same time, he's then going to run through a bunch of people that you could do singles matches with previously. If he pins like Nakamura,
Yeah.
That title match then isn't as appealing if you want to do it later down the road. So there are some exciting options. I would love to see them, as a little nerd, I would love to see them fill it up with my nerd favorites. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Nakamura. Put all these guys in and have a great wrestling match. Or bring back Mojo Rawley and put him in. Whatever you want to do. I'm sure it'll be good. WWE over the past few years have been really good at these big cluster F matches. So I'll look forward to it regardless, but I would have preferred a women's match just for variety, nothing else.
Yeah, it seemed like an open goal. I thought you have Roman defend his title in there as much as you're going to burn through the matches, as you said, against all the other guys, and then Edge is sort of the last man standing in terms of the only person who can really threaten Roman at WrestleMania. And then when Roman wins that, we go, oh, bloody hell, what do we do now? And this is all the excitement around how WWE are going to book it from there. And then I thought, well, yeah, obviously just have Asuka defend her title in the Raw Elimination Chamber, or have a Raw Elimination Chamber to determine the number one contender for Drew at WrestleMania. They haven't gone that way, but it's going to be a wild ride on the road to WrestleMania, Andy.
Surely is, always is, and WrestleMania 37 looking weird so far. Speaking of weird, Bayley's elimination from the Royal Rumble, that was very weird, wasn't it? They totally missed it, it seemed. It happened during a ring entrance, didn't it? And the cameras didn't catch it at the time. The commentators were just like, oh, Bayley's been eliminated, as someone was coming down the ring. You had to go back to it, the replay. It was very awkward, very weird, and not really befitting a top star like Bayley is in the SmackDown Women's division. She was a TV drawing star last year as well. Tremendous. What happened then? Well, she was eliminated too early. This is the word of PW Insider. It's a new report here. The production crew, as a result of this, were like, wait, what the hell happened? So we were all watching that show and thinking, oh, the producers have really messed this one up. But it wasn't their fault, because it wasn't supposed to happen then. They were expecting it a short while afterwards. Now, Bayley was still in the match for 29 minutes.
Yeah.
She got one elimination of Ruby Riott, so it's not like she had this crap run in the Rumble. She was in there for half an hour. Not necessarily a protagonist all the way through, but it wasn't her night. It was Bianca Belair's night and Rhea Ripley's night. But at the same time, it's the whole thing was really awkward. It was really jarring. It was really weird. But this explains it. Stuff like this happens. Royal Rumbles with all their moving parts sound like a bloody nightmare to put together and perform and execute. And the WWE are able to do it to such a high standard as they did in the women's match, which was great, is testament to their planning and their hard work. But stuff like this does happen. It's a shame, but it's nothing more than a shame.
No, exactly. I don't think. I mean, at most Bayley would have maybe been in the final four. But the way it ended with Rhea and with the eventual winner Bianca Belair, of course, I thought was perfect. Like you say, she was in the match for half an hour. These things happen, and like you say, I think even if that was a major, not necessarily botch, but mistake that went in there, it's still the best women's elimination chamber ever. Certainly up there.
Yeah, I thought it was the best Rumble, Women's Rumble by
said chamber. I don't know why.
Yeah, by a considerable margin, I'd say. The other ones, some of the other ones have been fine. The first one was, a little bit disjointed at points, and the other ones had problems as well. This one was just really great all the way through. One of my favorite Rumbles of the past 10 years, for sure.
The best women's elimination chamber ever was the one where Shayna Baszler eliminated everyone. Fight me. I genuinely still love that.
I'm with you.
But yeah, anyway. Let's move on. Let's talk about WrestleMania. You may be wondering why tickets for WrestleMania haven't gone on sale yet. Normally they go on sale 6 months in advance. Obviously, this is unlike any other year, so you would expect things to be slightly different. And the reason why they still haven't gone on sale, with WWE expecting sort of 25 to 30,000 fans, is, according to WrestleVotes, they tweeted this out, because WWE had a few representatives around the Tampa Bay area for last weekend's Super Bowl. They were gathering further information on how WWE can best pull off WrestleMania safety, hence the delay on ticket sales. The event planning and details need to be precise as ever. That makes a lot of sense, to be fair, because I saw a lot of footage that got me very concerned in the immediate aftermath of the Super Bowl. It was great seeing fans, in the stands and watching the Buccaneers take that Super Bowl trophy, bro. But the immediate aftermath and beforehand, where you just saw footage of people milling together, just got me very anxious. And it seems WWE are just trying to put every element of planning in they can for a show that is inevitably going to sell out for them.
Yeah, for sure. They've got to be very, 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 very careful. Health and safety is much more important than having noise at your wrestling show. So they've got to take every precaution necessary. I'm glad they're doing so by these reports. Whether or not they're actually able to have fans in the end remains to be seen, because this situation is so fluid. And if the Super Bowl, for example, turns out to be a super spreader event, which we will find out within the next couple of weeks, we may have some problems. I hope it doesn't, obviously, but Florida's been pretty crazy by the sounds of things. Hope everything goes as planned. We're dying to have fans back, but it needs to be safe.
Exactly. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Jake, who says, could you see MJF and Chris Jericho accidentally costing Santana and Ortiz their match against the Young Bucks, or would that discredit the Young Bucks slightly, given they couldn't win without outside interference? You're very excited about this match next week, Andy.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Because Santana and Ortiz rule, and they deserve more chances and spotlights like this. I think that's a path that they could go down, and I do think that the Young Bucks being frustrated is a big part of their act at the moment. So something like you've outlined there could work quite well. Please just ignore the slat of light currently shining down my big bald dome. I'm not getting up to fix the blind. It's the last couple of minutes. But I think Anderson and Gallows costing the Bucks the match, potentially, rather than the other way around, rather than Santana and Ortiz being cost the match. Gallows and Anderson costing the Bucks the match might be a bit more of a compelling story, because then the Bucks have more beef with Gallows and Anderson. Santana and Ortiz win the titles out of nowhere. They have a bigger rift in the inner circle because Chris Jericho and MJF have this guaranteed title shot. Then they can go at Revolution and Santana and Ortiz can win again, and they're the top dogs. It'd be awesome. But I think your scenario is a lot likelier. Yeah.
Yeah, I especially because the Good Brothers baited them into it on this week's Dynamite, of course. Yeah, give them a title match, why not? I don't see Jericho and MJF accidentally costing them the match, because MJF is such a good friend. He would never do anything to endanger Santana Ortiz's title shot. But either way, any of those scenarios you booked out could be very, very interesting as we head towards Revolution, of course. Right, second question today comes from Matt Ryan, aka Aussie Dead, who says, with the chances of seeing Edge appearing on NXT more often, who are some of the roster you'd like to see him face?
My dickhead answer to this is nobody, because he didn't draw. But, wind-ups aside, I think there's a lot of really interesting matches. You can basically pick anyone on the roster, because he's not wrestled any of them before, so it's fresh and it's new and it's exciting. Finn Balor excites me a lot as a potential opponent. I think he's been in great form in the ring recently. I love the Kyle O'Reilly matches. I think the Pete Dunne match is going to deliver huge this weekend. He's delivering consistently, and I think it's a really exciting proposition.
Matt Ryan suggests Karrion Kross, and whilst that is intriguing, ouch, I don't like that Saito suplex on Edge's neck, if I'm perfectly honest. But the open goal, the first thing that Matt Ryan suggests, Adam Cole, is the match we all want to see, let's be perfectly honest. If not that, Cameron Grimes, baby, straight to the moon! Especially now Cameron can, afford to pay Edge whatever he wants, because he is minted, baby. But yeah, like you say, let us know in the comments who in NXT you'd like to see Edge face. And we'll conclude with a question from Sean Acklin, who says, what do you guys think of Bad Bunny making a new entrance theme for his friend Damian Priest, like Wale did for Big E? And who's any music star you think should make an entrance theme for any wrestler in any promotion today?
Look at the state of this light, man. This is an absolute disaster. I'd be game. I think game for Bad Bunny making an entrance theme for anyone on the roster. Priest makes sense. Although Priest's entrance theme at the moment is pretty damn good, so I don't necessarily need to think they need to change that one up. But as far as like potential collaborators with music, I mean, I think Poppy makes a lot of sense, right?
Yes.
She's been on NXT like 700 times. It's a style of music that is very in vogue. I don't know that word around cool zeitgeisty circles at the moment. I could sit here and list off a bunch of my favourite artists, but I don't think Wolves in the Throne Room or Dark Throne are gonna be making any WWE entrance themes anytime soon. But Poppy makes sense.
Imagine if Run the Jewels made a theme for someone. They'd be
brother,
the instant star. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to say, Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull himself, making the new theme for the reunited Hit Titus Worldwide.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's
All right.
obvious. And you know what? Here's something no one said in a while. We haven't seen Kid Rock in WWE for a bit, have we?
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to today's and finally. And just a nice bit of clarification coming from one Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF on Twitter, who I woke up to this morning, has subsequently tweeted, Adam Wilborn is the only journalist, it's the biggest compliment anyone's ever given me, that told my story properly. I'm the victim here. Vindication, Andy, for what we reported yesterday. You are fake news, I am the real news.
I decline to comment on this matter until I have spoken to my legal team.
Yeah. What is it? Alternative facts. That's what one of us is presenting.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Let's shut this down. Come on.
Let's wrap it up. Let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dandy Boys. No, myself and Phil sitting down to preview SmackDown a little bit later on today. And Wrestle Culture with a hashtag Bloody Good quiz as well. Probably all about Nia Jax. Anyway, right, so let us know your thoughts on Twitter as well, at WhatCultureWWE. Watch you there. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy Birthday to the One Man Gang. Cool.
Good shout. Happy birthday, One Man Gang.
Akeem's a dream, baby.
Oh.
Jesus. Oh,
Not aged well, has it?
This has been a video.
Yep. Follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks, Danny Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.